If I were to fight Jake Paul, I would take it completely seriously like a real fight, and I'd whoop his ass, I'd beat him.
I don't think he ever gets into the ring and risks his alpha male appearance.
Jake Paul and Andrew Tate are finally fighting, and it feels like the internet has finally got its next big obsession. For days, Jake has been avoiding Tate, as if he's allergic to unscripted punches. But now, shockingly, a mountain of money has persuaded him to step up. If I were to fight Jake Paul, I would take it very seriously, like a real fight, and I would whoop his ass, beat him, and I don't think he ever gets into the ring and risks his alpha male appearance.
So we seen them square off for the first time. The internet blew up. Everyone was talking about this fight. But why? So we've got Andrew Tate, who's the most spoke about man in the world right now. He is absolutely everywhere. Then we've got this guy, Jake Paul, who is making massive moves in the boxing scene. And he is one of the most famous people in the world right now as well.
In the meantime, Tate has been hyping this up as real boxing, and fans are expecting Jake to finally face a real fighter. Will this be Jake's redemption arc or the reality check he didn't ask for? Stay tuned, because this one is going to be crazy. After we saw them square up for the first time, the internet exploded with talk about this fight. But why? Andrew Tate, the most talked about man in the world right now, is everywhere.
That's where Andrew Tate steps in with that long lead hook, and it's a good shot. There it's again, that long lead hook. He hurts the guy. Oh, blasts him to the body.
The self-proclaimed king of masculinity, Andrew Tate, has officially thrown down the gauntlet to Jake Paul, the YouTube problem child turned boxing chaos. Tate didn't just call him out, but he roasted him in front of the world on November 17, 2024, during a live stream. Of course, Tate couldn't resist making it personal. Jake Paul has never faced a fight that wasn't carefully controlled, so this will be different, he declared with the assurance of someone who has spent years perfecting the art of talking down to anyone who crosses his path.
I actually quite like Jake, and I think he trains really hard.
Yeah.
And I think he's dedicated to the sport, and he's seriously actually a boxer. I don't think he's a YouTuber, I think he's a boxer.
I think Jake is a boxer, and he trains a lot. I don't think he's a YouTuber, but I think he's a boxer. Naturally, Jake Paul accepted the challenge right away, and less than a day later, he responded with a response that screamed, classic Jake Paul energy. Oh, the irony of a YouTuber turned boxer accusing someone else of being in it for the money. This isn't just another fight, it's a clash of egos, brands, and bank accounts. It's the ultimate showdown between two men who believe they're unstoppable. And for better or worse, the world can't turn away. Let's see what makes this fight the most talked about event of 2025.
If you want to fight and you want to send a contract, send one to me. I will take a few weeks break from living my retired life to kick the living fuck out of a fucking goofy, fucking entitled dickhead like you. You know my name, Andrew Tate. Fucking Google it if you want to know more. Any day, anytime.
If you want to fight and you want to send me a contract, send it to me. I'll take a few weeks off from living my retired life to kick the living __ out of a _ goofy __ like you. Google it if you want to learn more at any time. First, let's get one thing straight. Both Andrew Tate and Jake Paul are already rich. Jake, the self-described problem child, has an estimated net worth of $300 million, which comes from his YouTube stunts, social media empire, and of course, his extremely successful but highly criticized boxing career. Andrew Tate, on the other hand, has an estimated $400 million in the bank thanks to his kickboxing career, online hustling programs, and never-ending controversy. The man has essentially made a business out of being unlikable.
Logan's got to see it.
Andrew Tate will not fight Jake. And if he does, it'd be a money play. He's going to get his ass kicked.
So much money.
He's going to get his ass kicked, and the top G facade will finally be.
Logan needs to realize that Andrew Tate will never fight Jay again. If he did, it would be a money play, and he's going to get his ass kicked. The top G facade will finally be revealed when Jake accused Tate of fighting for financial gain. Tate responded, predictably, that it's not about the $100 million in projected pay-per-view revenue or the opportunity to sell even more expensive self-help courses to your devoted fan base. On paper, Andrew Tate has the upper hand because he has a professional kickboxing record of 76 wins and just 9 losses. He's also been in the trenches, known for his knockout power and psychological mind games, and has spent years intimidating opponents before they even enter the ring. If combat sports were a chess match, Tate would be the one flipping the tables and giving a smug lecture about how inferior you.
Stop. Work. Come on, keep like work. Come on, fight. Make it. Hey. 20 seconds. Come on, 20 seconds to work, Oski. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on, work. 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 Good. Work. 10 seconds. Work.
Music or come music on Come On 20 Seconds. Let's go. Good work, Jake Paul, on the other hand, has lost his celebrity boxing career with 8 wins and E losses. This is impressive, but only if you ignore the fact that the majority of his opponents have been retired athletes, former MMA fighters, and other online personalities who likely signed up more for the money than the glory. If Jake loses, well, let's just say that Twitter will have a field day. Andrew Tate has already begun verbally attacking him, of course calling him a boy posing as a fighter, which, let's face it, is the type of line Tate practices in front of a mirror. Jake never wants to back down from a verbal sparring match shot back with his own gem. Tate is all talk, and I'll shut him down in the ring.
All you've got left is somebody like me. He'd mentioned me before, and there'll be people out there saying, oh, Carl Froch's talking about himself. He's after a payday. Listen, I'm not after a payday. I'm doing all right. There's no problems with my finances.
All you got else somebody like me, he mentioned me before, and there'll be people out there saying, oh, Carl FR talking about himself, he's after a pay. Listen, I'm not after a payday. I'm doing all right. There's no problems with my finances. This back and forth isn't just entertainment, it's strategy. Tate is a master of psychological warfare, using every opportunity to get under his opponent's skin. Jake, however, thrives on being underestimated. He's built his entire boxing career on proving people wrong, so don't count him out just yet. Both fighters are taking their training seriously. Andrew Tate has reportedly ramped up his prep operation with elite boxing coaches, focusing on translating his kickboxing skills into a pure boxing style. For someone who spent years relying on kicks, knees, and elbows, this is a significant adjustment. But if there's one thing Tate loves more than his Bugatti collection, it's proving people wrong. Jake Paul, meanwhile, is sticking with his tried and true team led by coach BJ Flores. Insiders say Jake is doubling down on endurance drills to prepare for Tate's knockout power. Jake knows he's not the most experienced fighter, but he's a workhorse in training, and that's earned him the grudging respect of even his harshest critics. Well, some of them. For Jake Paul, this fight is about respect. Despite his success, he's still viewed by many as a YouTuber who got lucky beating Andrew. Tate would be his ultimate told you so moment, a chance to silence the doubters once and for all. But if he loses, a loss to Tate would be a PR nightmare. His entire brand is built on being the underdog who always comes out on top. Losing would shatter that narrative, and the memes alone would be brutal for Andrew Tate. This fight is about legacy. He's made it clear that he views celebrity boxing as a joke, and he's determined to bring honor back to combat sports. A win would solidify him as a versatile fighter who can dominate in multiple disciplines. But let's not kid ourselves, Tate has just as much to lose as Jake. If he's defeated by a guy who started his career filming prank videos, his credibility and his massive ego will take a serious hit. Why don't you lose to an old man who's retired? I live in the real __ world. Jake, there's a whole bunch of fighters out here who live in the real _ world, men who are dangerous and dedicated their lives to this sport and don't have a __ fraction of the money you have, because you managed to become a _ clown. Predictably, the internet has exploded with reactions to this matchup. A recent Twitter poll showed that 65% of fans are backing Andrew Tate, while 305% are rooting for Jake Paul. TikTok is flooded with memes, fight predictions, and clips of both men training. Hashtags like #TatePaul 2025 and #AskRealBoxing returns have racked up over 500 million views, proving once again that the internet loves nothing more than a good drama. Even celebrities are getting in on the action. Logan Paul, Jake's older brother, publicly doubted Tate's chances.
Why don't you lose to an old man who's retired? I live in the real fucking world, Jake. There's a whole bunch of fighters out here who live in the real fucking world. Men who are dangerous and dedicated their lives to this sport and don't have a fucking fraction of the money you have because you managed to become a fucking clown.
Saying Tate's biting off more than he can chew with Jake. Meanwhile, UFC legend Conor McGregor tweeted, this fight will be a circus, but I'll still watch. Boxing needs entertainment like this, and honestly, he's not wrong. The best boxer on the planet is Jack Pennsylvania. Why? I mean, who's doing it? I mean, if Mike Tyson says, let's do this, are you down? 100%. I'm going to make Mike my girlfriend. Would you fight Mike Tyson again? No, because he's now old, and I would be an absolutely tragic shame to knock out an old version of this prime cell that doesn't feel fair. Prime Tyson would have ripped me apart in the boxing match. Said to beat him when he passed time feel dishonorable, and I feel dirty for doing that. So there's no amount of money on the planet that convinced me to fight. This fight isn't just about Andrew Tate and Jake Paul, it's about what their clash represents. Traditional boxing purists have been rolling their eyes at celebrity matches for years, dismissing them as cash grabs with zero credibility. But fights like this one are forcing people to pay attention. Like it or not, celebrity boxing is here to stay, and it's bringing millions of new fans to the sport. A win for Jake Paul could legitimize the celebrity.
The best boxer on the planet is
Jake Paul.
Why?
I mean, who's doing it?
I mean, if Mike Tyson says, let's do this, are you down?
100%.
I'm gonna make Mike my girlfriend.
Would you fight Mike Tyson? Again, no, because he's now old. And I would be an absolutely tragic shame to knock out an old version of his prime self. That doesn't feel fair. Fine, Tyson would have ripped me apart in a boxing match. So to beat him when he's past his prime just feels dishonorable. And I feel dirty for doing that. So there's no amount of money.
Boxing scene opening the door for more high-profile crossover fights. A win for Andrew Tate, on the other hand, could serve as a rallying cry for traditional fighters fed up with influencers invading their turf. Either way, This fight is bigger than the two men involved. It's a cultural moment. The financial stakes are astronomical. Early projections suggest the fight could generate over $100 million in pay-per-view revenue, putting it on par with legendary bouts like Mayweather versus Pacquiao with an expected global audience of over 50 million viewers. This fight has the potential to be one of the most watched events in boxing history. Love them or hate them, Andrew Tate and Jake Paul know how to draw a crowd. Obviously, Andrew T can fight. He is a hard man. He's in great shape, and he's just got that stubbornness about him where I think he's a right hard, though not official.